Hello and welcome. Today's video, we're playing with some older Spellbinder product called Bundle of Joy. So we have got the Bundle of Joy die set from Spellbinders. There are 13 cutting dies in this package. We've got the baby, the stork, and some accessories. We've got a cloud die as well. And I've got the little instruction sheet here that you can actually print off of the Spellbinders site. I've also got the embossing folder of the month, January 26th. It's called Cloud 9, and it is a cloud embossing folder. Last time I worked with this, I used the star embossing folder because there is a star die that is included with this set, but we're not going to do that. We're going to have a cloud card. And I have got my little baby here just die cut out on some alabaster cardstock. And I'm going to bring in the pick tool and poke out the little bits that are in there. And we've got the baby and then the baby's second arm. One of the arms is detached so that you can glue it on there, and you can actually leave it, just glue it at the shoulder, and you can actually wrap the baby's arm around the blanket, and that's what we're going to do. So I have got my, I think it's E00 Copic marker, and I'm just adding, this is kind of an alabaster cardstock, so I'm just adding a little skin tone to it with my marker and just kind of getting a little light skin tone. And so we're going to get this colored up, and then we'll be ready to work with the baby. Now this baby has got a cute little, there's a hat that you can do. There's also a little bow if you want to do a bow instead of a hat. And then you've got baby booties and a diaper. You've got the stork. You've got a blanket that the stork can hold the baby from. And then you've got a die that cuts out your clouds. And so we're just going to get the baby's diaper laid down on here and get it positioned. It's real cute. I've just die cut it out in some blue Spellbinders cardstock, and I'm just going to get the baby's diaper. Now, I will tell you, my baby is going to be inserted inside the blanket, and you won't actually see the diaper, but I couldn't resist putting the diaper on there because it's just so cute, and I wanted to show it to you. So it's just a tiny little diaper. And then there's some debossed detail on there that shows you just how to line it up. And I won't get it quite right. I'll pick it up in a minute because I got a little bit of my baby's booty sticking out there, and so I'll move it. I'm going to add the arm, and when I go to put the arm on is when I realize that I need to move my diaper just a smidge, and my glue is still plenty wet, so we'll get it moved. Here we go. Just going to push it over just a little bit and cover up that little booty, and then we'll get the little arm laid down on here. And our baby's bald, doesn't really have any hair. Just there's like a little curly Q kind of up near the forehead, and you could probably add some color to it, but we're going to put the hat on there, so it's not going to matter. You can see there's some holes where the cheeks are and where the eye is, and it shows you on the sheet that there is a long strip for the eyes, which I've die cut out in Cosmic Sky, and then there is another strip that you use to lay across for the cheeks, and I'm using, I don't know if this is chiffon. I think it's chiffon that I'm using for the just real light pink cheeks. It's either that or Bellini. And so it's just a strip, and you just lay it down on the back, and then it'll cover up both of the cheeks. And you want to lay it kind of on the chin area because you need room for this strip that's going to add the color to the eyes. And my baby's going to have Cosmic Sky blue eyes, and it's so cute. See that little curl of hair there? Very cute. So next we've got the little hat, and I've die cut it out in the blue to match the diaper, and we're just going to get it laid down on the baby's head. So we'll get a little bit of glue on there, and then we'll get it stuck down. I'm just using that sheet of paper there just to kind of keep the glue off my desk. So isn't that cute? So cute. Now we also have some baby booties. And I'm going to grab those out. I've got them in my tray here, and you can see I've got my blanket there. I used some patterned paper for that, and I'll try to remember to link up the patterned paper. It's actually not too shabby, 6x6 patterned paper. There was a real cute blue kind of gingham pattern, and I thought that'd be cute for the baby. And I'm going to add the little booties, and they match the diaper and the hat. And you will be able to see the booties because I will have the feet kind of sticking out of the blankie. Won't be able to see the diaper, but you'll be able to see the booties. Isn't that cute? And then we have got the stork here. And I've just used some light gray Spellbinders cardstock, can't think of the name of it at the moment, to create my stork. And we've got similar pieces, just like we had for the cheeks of the baby, we've got for the cheeks of the stork. And then I've taken that same, I think it's chiffon cardstock, and die cut out the beak. I decided to use pink instead of an orange beak. I just thought my stork was going to have a lighter beak, and I think it looks really nice up next to the gray. And we've got our stork. He has got a hat, kind of like almost like a delivery hat, or like a postal carrier hat, or kind of puts me in the mind of a train conductor hat. But anyway, it is 3 pieces, and I die cut it out in a mirrored black, and it kind of looks like a shiny bill. And then we're going to add this gray layer down, and then we'll put the decorative piece on top of this lighter gray. I'm going to bring in a darker gray to layer up on there. And just keeping my stork, he's gray, and then his hat is going to have some gray on there. I was just kind of cleaning up the little die cut pieces, the little hairs. I probably ran that forward and then backward, and sometimes when you press more than once, you'll get some die cutting hairs on there. And so we've got this cute hat, and it's got a shiny bill on there. And I think it looks really cute. We're going to get it laid down on our stork's head. And that is our stork's decorative element. Now we've essentially used all of the pieces for our die set except the stars and then the bow, because I chose not to add the bow because we're going to use the hat. Now I've got the front and the back of the blankie, and I'm just going to position my little baby with his arm on the outside of the blankie. And I'm positioning him to where you can see his little booties. I think it's super cute. And I'm just going to get some glue on here and get this attached. At first I just put it on the blankie, and then I'm like, I've got to get my baby to where he doesn't fall out of the blankie on my card. So I'm going to get him exactly where I want him, and then I'm going to add some glue, and we'll get him glued down on there. So we have the back of the blankie, the front of the blankie, and then there is a decorative piece that goes on the knot, and you just layer that on there. So we'll just add a little dab of glue and add the knot, and now we have got our baby in the blankie, and we can just stick the stork's beak right through our blankie, and the stork is carrying our baby in a blankie. Super fun. Now we're going to have some fun with the background. I did bring in that Cloud 9 embossing folder, and I embossed a white panel. I cut it down to 3 3/4 by 5, and I'm bringing in some of my oxide ink. It's actually tumbled glass distressed oxide. And I've got my Spellbinders blending brush, and I'm just putting a little bit of ink on there and just kind of lightly dragging it over my panel, and the raised edges are picking up the blue. And I think it's going to tie our little elements and our card together. I think it looks really pretty. Very soft. Now I've got my cloud pieces die cut out, and they're just die cut out of hammer mill white. And I've got them longer than I need so that I can kind of layer them and snip off what I don't need. Now the one that's going to lay on the back, I'm going to get some blue laid down here. We're going to have like blue clouds in the background. And so I'm going to ink them up pretty good. And then we'll lightly ink up the front panel with just a little bit of blue. And then we'll layer them up. So I'm just getting a good amount of blue laid down on here so that I've kind of got some blue and then some whiter looking clouds. So this, we're going to do it like this. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of blue to the top edge of these other clouds as they're laying together. And we've got just a little bit on there. We're going to clean up this mess, and then we'll come back in and get to working on our card. So I've got my desk all cleaned off. Now we're just going to get to assembling our clouds. I'm going to bring in some glue and glue this first strip of clouds down, and then we're going to put them up a little bit higher. And then the next layer we're going to put down to the bottom of the base of the panel there. and we'll actually pop them up. So these we're going to go just glue straight down. And I'm just going to add just a little bit of dimension. I've got some foam squares over there that are, I don't know, maybe 1 millimeter, not very, not much dimension, but a little bit. And we're going to clip this off. And then we will bring in our next panel and just kind of lay it down on there. I'll figure it out. I'm going to lay these foam squares all the way across here, and then we'll figure out how we want to lay it down, and we'll trim it up, and then we will have a little cloud sky scene with our embossed folder panel, and then we've got our clouds, 2 layers of clouds. And I apologize, I guess it's allergy season, so I'm having to clear my voice a lot. So anyway, I'm going to get this lined up on here, and then we'll just flip it over and cut it off. And we've got just a little bit of dimension. I've got it uneven there, so I'm going to straighten it. And then we'll just flip it over and cut it off. You can see I've got a foam square on there. I'm just going to cut that off. And then I've decided I'm going to need to add one on this side because I actually went in the opposite direction I thought I was going to go when I put these in. So I've got a little half square here, and I'm just going to tuck it in. That way we have good, solid panel there. And we've got our little stork that is going to hang off the edge of our card. And I'm actually going to tuck it down in the clouds. I'm going to tuck it into the first layer of clouds, and we'll get it laid down on there. So we'll get some glue on the back of this, and then we will get it positioned, and we have got our focal point nearly together. So I'm just going to tuck it into that first layer of clouds on the bottom there, and then just get my baby positioned and give it a good press. And I've got a little bit hanging off there. I'm just going to snip. And isn't it cute? Super, super cute. Just a delicate little card. I'm going to try and move. There's a little spot of glue on there I was going to wipe off. And then I've got a top folding card base, and I have got that gingham blue print that we used for the blankie. And I've cut it down to, it's actually 1/8 of an inch all the way around, smaller than our card base. So we're just going to have a little white layer. And you saw that pattern on the back is gorgeous. That's not too shabby cardstock, and it's really pretty, the pattern paper. We're going to get it lined up on there, and then we're just going to bring in our focal panel, and we'll get it lined up. I'm just giving a little press. It still needs time to glue. And I'm doing little globs of glue so that I can move it around if I need to line it up. I'll have some movability. And we've just got that blue and white gingham pattern sticking behind there. It looks really pretty. Everything's just super color coordinated. Now, I feel like I had some sentiments to go with this set, and I looked and I couldn't find them, but I found some baby poo sentiments, and it was a better press plate. And so I'm going to press this out, and we're going to have some sentiments for our card. And this is actually one of my favorite ones. It's one where you press several sentiments at once, and then you die cut them out at once. And I realized as I get going here that I laid my paper down, or my sentiments I should have turned or something, because I'm going to cut off one of them, but it'll work out just fine. Actually, it stamps fine. It just, the die went a little bit beyond the stamped area, and so, but I wasn't going to use that one anyway, so it won't matter. Anyway, we're going to bring in the Platinum 6 and just run the press plate through there, and we'll take a look at our sentiments, and then we will get them die cut out, and this will pretty much finish off our card. So here you go. That very top one went clear to the edge of the, I pointed at it, went clear to the edge of the page, so I didn't have room for the rest of the die. You'll see the die for that one will hang off just a smidge. I probably could round it with my scissors and still be able to use that sentiment. But we'll tape it up. We're going to bring in the plates for the Platinum 6, and we'll get these die cut out, and we're going to have several sentiments here to pick from. And I used, it was a lighter, Azalea, I think, was the name of the color of the Better Press ink that I used. And so I laid the big one down there, and I've got a couple small ones. And let's see. I've got, sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in your heart is the bigger one. And then the other two is how do you spell love? You don't spell it, you fill it. And that's what I'm laying on there now. How do you spell love? You don't spell it, you fill it. And then this other one is the sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in your heart. And we're actually going to use all three of these because I'm going to lay the two together. How do you spell love? You don't spell it, you fill it on the front. And then we'll use the other one on the inside. And we'll have our sentiments on the inside and the outside of our card. And I have got a cute little baby boy card, and I'll have that in my stash should I need it. So I think it's super fun. I was just looking through my materials and I saw this and I thought I want to work with this again, so I pulled it out. I think it is darling. I've got a strip of paper that was left from this pattern that I used for the front of it, and I'm just going to bring it in and put it on the inside of the card just so we'll have a little bit of the outside of the card on the inside, and then we're going to add that other sentiment to the inside, and we'll have our card done. Just get that laid down on there. And there we go. I think it is super cute, lots of fun. And I have taken a picture so that you can check it out. If you like it, please hit the like. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Here's a couple more videos that you can watch.